2 explosions in the dead of night. Windows shattered. A convoy hunted from the sky. Within days, the long-simmering border between Pakistan and Afghanistan erupted into open, deadly combat, with both sides claiming heavy losses and the world watching, alarmed. How did a single strike spiral into the most serious exchange between these neighbors in years? And why might this matter far beyond the Durand Line? It began on an October night in Kabul's District 8, Abdul Haq Square. Witnesses describe a dark vehicle weaving through checkpoints chased by the sound of aircraft above. Then, 2 thunderous explosions. Chaos, smoke, gunfire. Afghan officials and international reporters later said that Pakistani forces had struck targets inside Kabul, apparently aiming at senior leaders of the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, TTP. Islamabad framed the strikes as counter-terrorism. Kabul called them a violation of sovereignty. The strikes set off a chain reaction. Within 48 hours, fighting flared along multiple border sectors: Kunar, Nangarhar, Khost, Helmand, and Kurram, with Taliban forces and Pakistani troops trading heavy fire. Both sides quickly released stark, conflicting casualty counts. Afghanistan's Taliban spokesman claimed dozens of Pakistani soldiers were killed. Pakistan said it had inflicted far greater losses on Taliban fighters. Independent verification proved difficult amid the fog of war. You may be wondering how the Taliban, who lack a conventional air force, managed to hit so many targets along the frontier. The short answer: they mixed guerrilla skill with weapons left behind or captured after 2021, plus mobile tactics. Pickup trucks fitted with machine guns, artillery where available, and even drones for surveillance and attacks allowed coordinated assaults against forward Pakistani posts. These are not flashy, high-tech operations, but in rugged border terrain, mobility and local knowledge matter more than cutting-edge gear. To understand the escalation, we need context. Islamabad says it was targeting TTP leaders who planned attacks inside Pakistan. Kabul and the Taliban government in Afghanistan insist their territory was violated, and some attacks struck civilian areas. Add to that decades of mistrust, disputed border lines, and regional rivalries, and the situation becomes combustible. Both governments also moved fast to militarize the response. Pakistan launched aerial strikes, artillery bombardments, and cross-border operations it described as counter-terror measures. Afghanistan's forces and allied fighters pushed along the Durand Line, claiming to recapture or neutralize Pakistani positions. On both sides, families paid the price. Local hospitals filled. Villages near the line reported evacuations. Yet, in the public eye, and across state media, numbers became weapons themselves. "We killed hundreds," one side said. "We lost dozens," the other replied. In conflicts like this, casualty figures are often inflated for morale or political pressure. Independent verification by journalists and humanitarian groups is vital, but access is limited in hot zones. This is not a bilateral quarrel in a vacuum. The rivalry between Islamabad and New Delhi, and India's evolving contacts with Kabul, complicates the picture. Analysts argue that broader regional alignments may be amplifying tensions, turning local fights into strategic chess moves between capitals. Why worry? 2 reasons. First, spillover. Cross-border strikes and bombardments can displace thousands and destabilize border provinces already fragile from years of conflict. Second, escalation. When conventional strikes and counterstrikes become routine, the risk of miscalculation grows. And with Pakistan's nuclear weapons and India's conventional superiority in the background, strategic calculations get dangerously complex. In the days after the initial strikes, multiple ceasefire claims and denials circulated. Both sides signaled reluctance to let the conflict spiral beyond their control, but neither showed immediate willingness to back down. International actors called for restraint. Regional diplomacy suddenly became urgent. The most likely near-term outcomes are negotiated pauses, limited tactical operations, and a tense border freeze. But histories of mutual distrust make durability of any pause fragile. This episode is a reminder of how quickly local violence can become a regional crisis. A targeted strike, a night in Kabul, a convoy in flames, and suddenly decades of friction surge back with lethal force. For people living along the Durand Line, the headlines are not abstract. They are a matter of survival. If you found this explainer useful, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We'll keep tracking developments and bring verified updates. Drop your questions below. What part of this story do you want us to investigate next? Maps, timelines, or the human stories on the ground? Tell us.